Hey people, Mike Martin's here with the Mike Martin channel. I got the AC on today. It's really hot today here. Don't forget to come down and visit me at 1925 Quilchena Avenue in Merritt, British Columbia. Well, what do I have for you guys today, man? I have a story and a half, and it's been an attack that is personal to me. But what's the attack against? Meat. They're attacking our meat. They want us to live in pods and eat bugs. And it's something we've been talking about for a while now. But red meat is under attack. They tried that Methane Protection Act thing back in New England in the 1880s and 1890s to try and charge farmers for head of cattle, head of horse, head of on their farm. And they're actually now doing that. They're actually sending out surveys to farms to find out how much head of cattle and how much head of horse or whatever they have on their farm. They're actually doing it again. They're attacking our meat. I'm a meatitarian myself, and meat is one of the most important parts of my diet. I love steak in all kinds of forms, all kinds. So anyways, what is going on? Well, let's get to it right now. Don't forget to join us this Saturday on Mike in the Night, where we have the Alaska Prepper. Last week we had Simon. Where's Simon here? From The Uneducated Economist on the show. So don't forget to join us. That's what the show looks like. Episode 449, Alaska Prepper on Mike in the Night. We'll be discussing prepping ideas and solutions. Anyways, so what have we been talking about? Meat. Well, search across our channel and you look meat. Crazy, 2020, 22 bucks for bacon in New Zealand 7 months ago. The prices are already going off the rails. They're coming for our meat. New tax, red meat tax. They're going to feed us bugs. So there it is. Meat shortage. Prices are getting weird. Save your bacon. 2 years ago. It's over 2 years. Before the you-know-what. Our food is under attack. A cyber attack threatens meat supply. And this foodflation kicks in a year ago. So the price of food was going up, and there it is. Food inflation set to take off. Unbelievable prices of local caught fish in New Zealand 7 months ago. So there it is. We have lots of discussion here on the channel. So what's happening today? Pope tells young people eating meat is part of a self-destructive trend. So I like how they word this out and use weapons as words. So what's the Pope saying? Pope Francis is asking young people to eat less meat in a bid to take better care of the environment. Of course, they're going to blame it on us, but they don't blame... It's like when the whole world was protesting. They didn't blame in 2019. They didn't blame the governments that were in power. They just turned it and blamed it on climate change, in turn blaming the people for the climate change. You see how they come back? See how they come back to get us? In a letter to participants of the EU Youth Conference in Prague this week, the Pope urged that we break the self-destructive trend of consumerism and prioritize sustainability. It is urgent to reduce consumption not only of fossil fuels, but also of many superfluous things. I hope I said that right. And also, in certain areas of the world, it is convenient to consume less meat. This can also help save the environment, he wrote. So why is he weighing in on this? Well, he has to weigh in on this. And he lays the foundation for what he calls the integral ecology in the encyclical. I don't even care. They're just using words, and they're basically throwing them out there to blame us. You know, let's go back to 2019. And I want to, before you switch this off, just bear with me on this, okay? It's part of a video series I want to make for you guys, showing that the whole world was in protest. So in 2019, the world was in protest, and the Western countries were trying to flip it as climate change protests all over the world, but they weren't. Civil unrest in Ecuador, fossil fuel subsidies. Ecuador reaches fuel subsidy deal to end violent protests. This is all 2019. The whole world was in protest in 2019. And not to mention their electricity went up 2,000%. Protests in Peru as country is thrown into political uncertainty. What was this? 2019. The whole world was protesting in 2019, and they flipped it as climate protests. Protests at Chinese copper mine in Peru continue after local leader freed. So there it is right there. Remember what was happening in Bolivia? Bolivia protests. Ruling party urges support for Evo Morales, right? So anyone that goes anti-American or goes against the status quo is considered an evil leader. And when was this? 2019. So it keeps going back to 2019. Anti-Morales protests in Bolivia, they were actually not anti, they were pro, just like they did with Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. And Paraguayan president popularity plummets amid Brazil-linked politics crisis. This is all now commercials. In Guyana, is Guyana headed to a future where citizens cannot protest freely and the press is stifled? So there it is right there, 2019. It all goes back to 2019. And I've been telling you guys, the Uruguayans are also on the streets, 2019. So there's hundreds of articles just in South America alone, protesting in 2019. All of the Western media was flipping all these protests in 2019 as not in no confidence in government, but climate change protests all over the world, right? So they were actually taking all these images and flipping it as climate change protests, and people had enough. Stop the meat, stop the oil, stop our energy. And that's where it got to. So now they're coming and they're attacking our meat. I'm going to make this a very simple video. Comment below, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. They're coming after the meat, and they're using religious figureheads now to come after. I'm Catholic myself. I was born Catholic and a whole 9 yards. But you know, I follow in my heart what I know is right. And when I know something isn't right, obviously I'm going to call it out regardless. So I wanted to throw this out there for you guys to make it very clear that it's a war on everything. It's a war for everything around us. They're coming for everything. They're coming for our electricity. I told you about the rolling blackouts. It's going to happen. And in the Northern Hemisphere, you're going to start to see blackouts in the winter. Get your solar ready, get everything ready, prepare. And you know what? Heck, someone told me, Mike, all the solar you're putting on your house, what's going to happen if nothing happens? Well, I don't have an electricity bill for the next 10 years. It's fine. I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? It finds a way to balance out. And if I don't have the solar and something happens, then what? Right? So we're left with these predicaments. Anyways, guys, Mike Martins here. It's a busy day today. A lot of kids out. I'm going to open the door again. With the Mike Martins channel, I have spoken.